Most people are pitching AI services completely backwards, and it's killing their AI business. Over the last 2 years, I've sold several $100,000 worth of AI automations to companies, and I did this through a variety of ways: cold email, Upwork, communities, and now organically through my own YouTube. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 critical shifts in sales strategy that enabled me to scale my own AI automation agency from 0 all the way to $72K per month. And what's really interesting is none of them have anything to do with the technology itself. Let's get into it. Business owners care about outcomes, not technology. The biggest mistake I see AI automation agencies make is they obsess over the technology instead of the outcomes that technology delivers. Let me be brutally honest, most business owners don't actually care whether you're using GPT-4o. They don't care if you're using Claude. They don't care if you're using DeepSeek or any other custom LLM that you might or might not have fine-tuned yourself. What they care about are results. When I first started pitching AI services, I would go into excruciating levels of detail about the models and the workflows and basically all the technical aspects. I actually remember back in the day, I had this one call where I spent like 15 minutes just explaining to the CEO how the automation worked under the hood, how the model was trained, all the various technical aspects, the parameters and stuff like that. They explicitly said to me, "That's great, but how much money is this going to make me?" Here's what business owners actually care about. Will this make me money? Will this save me money? Will this reduce my risk? Will this give me an edge over my competitors? Before you mention a single technical detail, essentially that's what you need to focus on. So my recommendation for you is to nail down these 3 points. Focus on revenue impact. Exactly how is this system going to drive more revenue? Is it going to drive more revenue because of the hyperparameters and how they were tuned? No business owner really cares about that, okay? What they care about is how that system is going to interplay with the market, usually with real customers or real clients, in order to convince them to open up their wallets and checkbooks and pay the company more money. So that's what you need to focus on. The second big thing is cost reduction. So how much money is this system going to save? And the third is time leverage, aka specifically, whose time is this going to free up? And what is that person going to do with that free and available time? So when I shifted from saying stuff like, we'll build you a GPT-4 powered lead qualification system, to something that's more benefits focused, aka, we'll build you a system that converts 30% more leads without adding headcount, my close rate went up significantly, and yours can too. Businesses want proven solutions, not cutting-edge experiments. The second critical mistake I see is when people pitch novel and unproven AI solutions instead of the more battle-tested ones that I and many other people have used that have consistently delivered results for many years. I'm talking like N8N AI agents. I'm talking about more flexible technologies, MCP servers and stuff like that. Things that, while really cool and are probably the way that the industry is headed, aren't really capable of driving consistent and valuable return on investments today, or if they are capable, are not capable of delivering more than a competing available technology like a traditional AI automation, for instance. So when I first started my agency, I was always chasing the newest capabilities. I would experiment with different models day after day, different approaches day after day. And I figured that I was just adding to my Rolodex, right? The more knowledge that I knew, the more clients would be impressed by the technology that I understood. I had to learn a cold, hard reality check, which is that most businesses with real money to spend don't want to be your guinea pig. They're not spending money on R&D or research and development. They're spending money on marketing, usually to produce some sort of ROI. So businesses in general, they want solutions that have worked for other businesses with a proven return on investment. Here's an early pitch of mine that failed miserably. We can build you an AI system that uses the latest models to automatically write all of your marketing content. It's revolutionary, cutting-edge technology, and nobody else is using it. That sounds nice. Definitely a lot of words, but do those words really mean anything to the customer? Spoiler alert, no. So here's how to win. Take that exact pitch and phrase it in ways that the customer understands and in ways that the customer can conceptualize your value. What's something that most customers are concerned about? They're actually concerned about reliability. They're concerned about their reputation. They're concerned about the amount of money this is going to take. They're concerned that you haven't actually done this before. They're concerned that they're going to get scammed. Okay, there's this big list of essentially things that customers worry about at the back of their minds. I'm not inventing any of this stuff. This stuff is very tried and true. It's been written about for much longer than I've been alive. If you just take these ideas and you rephrase that previous pitch, you might have something like this. We've built the same system for 3 companies in your industry. Company A saw $420,000 of new revenue in just 6 months. Company B reduced all of their costs by 65%, and Company C generated 38 more qualified leads a day. Here's how it works. I again had to find this out the hard way when I was building my own AI automation agency. I would get on tons of calls and I was super jazzed about the technology, obviously, who wouldn't be? But when clients actually responded to me, when they actually, gave me their business, was only when I showed them specific systems I'd built before for other clients and results that those systems had produced. In other words, I front-loaded with social proof. I showed them that, I have been pre-selected. I've been validated by other customers. Other people have trusted me enough to pay me their money, meaning that the likelihood that I am going to be a total and abject failure for you is lower. I wasn't focused on how crazy and new and amazing the technology was. Customers actually care less about that than you might think. They much prefer proven, repeatable, reliable solutions that have worked for years compared to ones that, might be new and hot off the press. In my community, the members that consistently land clients are almost never the ones with the most technical knowledge. And I've seen over 1,500 of them now. They're ones that can clearly demonstrate proven results from systems that they've already built, or they can imply experience and social proof with systems that other people have built. So to recap, focus on specific problems that the customer has confirmed that they have, show examples of solutions that you've actually already built before, and then provide concrete results wherever possible. At the end of the day, innovation and your ability to revolutionize an industry, these things get attention, but it's proven reliability that ultimately gets the check. Business owners want partners, not tools. The third major mistake I see AI agencies make is they position themselves as basically little tool providers instead of the owners of outcomes, instead of the owners or partners of a business. In reality, businesses already have way too many tools. They don't want another one. They don't want a fancy chat box that they can send messages to that can add things to their CRM, okay? What they want is a system that invalidates the need for them to have to worry about putting anything into the CRM to begin with. They have software stacks on software stacks. They have thousands. Most businesses that I come into are spending thousands of dollars of extra money that they don't need to on tools that they never use. So the last thing they need is another complicated system to figure out or waste their time on, right? What most businesses are actually looking for is they're looking for somebody to take ownership of delivering an outcome or a deliverable. Now, I learned this lesson myself probably over a dozen times now. It's a very hard lesson to learn. But when I shifted from selling one-off automation projects to longer-term retainer relationships where I guaranteed specific results, my income went through the roof, both because of leverage, but also because I stopped being just somebody that you went to get a specific job done or get a tool built or whatever. And I started being a strategic partner that, the person could rely on, not to just build the spec that they were given, but to actually come up with a new spec. Now, in my automation agency, I noticed something really interesting. When I pitched clients on building an AI system, the pushback was always about price. But when I started by pitching, I will generate you X qualified leads per month using an AI automation system that I will build, manage, and take care of completely, the conversation would completely change. Basically, the same concerns that I had before, the ones about price, disappeared. And instead, the price seemed reasonable because I was taking complete and utter ownership over the outcome. The cost was less important than the deliverable that I was providing. Now, it's not just my experience. In my community, the most successful agency owners don't just drop off a tool and say good luck. They stick around. They ensure that it delivers the promised results. They deliver a return on investment. And, when they pitch people, they don't pitch people as, I will build you a system. They pitch people as, I will generate you a return on investment. I will make you $15,000 in the next 30 days, or you don't pay. They will conceptualize this as a no-brainer outcome. Not necessarily a dream, but like a definable goal that you can actually achieve. So yeah, sell the outcome, don't sell the tool, take responsibility for delivering results. If you are positioning yourself as a partner and equal to them, you have to be willing to also accept the responsibility that entails, and then ultimately structure the pricing around the value of that outcome, not how many hours it takes. This approach doesn't just close more clients, it also creates stickier client relationships, and stickier client relationships in automation, and really, if I'm honest, any sort of agency space is the path to real wealth, MRR. The businesses that pay the most for AI services aren't buying access to technology, they're buying peace of mind that somebody is competent enough to handle an important business function for them and make a ton of money. Now that we understand that business owners want return and they want outcomes more than they necessarily want the fancy new DeepSeek model off the block, let's talk about how to position your AI automation services to match and ultimately exceed those expectations. I've basically developed this framework that I've been using both in my community and also in my client relationships. And I'm going to share with you this framework. It's substantially improved my own ability to both close and then retain. And it's something that I consider really integral to just my day-to-day work as an AI automation agency owner. So step one is start with their specific business problem. Don't start by talking about AI, just focus entirely on the problem that customer is experiencing. I might say something like, so you mentioned you guys are struggling to qualify your leads quickly enough, and you think that your sales team is wasting time on poor fit prospects. Is that right? Well, tell me about that. I don't actually bring up AI until I'm very, very clear what the problem is. And usually, to be honest, when somebody jumps on a call with me, they're expecting me to start talking about AI. Usually, it gets to the point where, I haven't talked about AI or automation or anything for like 20 or 30 minutes into the call. And finally, they're at the point where there's like, Nick, are you going to talk about AI and automation? When are we going to do that? I'm like, well, We're going to do that once I fully understand your business problem. When I get to the point where I do, and then I drop, okay, well, here's the technology that's going to help, it hits that much harder because we basically just spent the last 20 or 30 minutes focusing on their pain points. Anyway, so that's step one. Step two is to quantify the cost of the problem that you've just spent the last 20 or 30 minutes pressing on. This might be something like, so how much does a single lead cost you? $15,000? Okay. If you're losing $15,000 and your current approach loses you 2 to 3 customers a month, how much is that in total? 30 to 45,000? So based on what you've told me, this costs you roughly 30K a month in wasted sales time, missed opportunities, and growth. Is that a fair conceptualization? I will, I don't just shove the words in their mouth. Essentially, I will uncover exactly how much money the problem is costing them in their own words, and then I'll usually have them do some sort of confirmation of it. So now, we've uncovered the problem. We're not talking about AI or automation at all. We're just uncovering the problem, and then we're quantifying the problem. Step three is you present your solution in terms of its ability to solve those problems, not in terms of their technical features. So now that I understand the problem, my solution is, okay, great. I'll build you a system that pre-qualifies leads automatically. It'll ensure your sales team only speaks with really high potential prospects. You can keep your closers on the highest ROI deals. You can farm off anything that's not qualified or not high ROI to people that might be a little bit worse. This is going to typically increase conversion rates by 10 to 20%. We'll trial it out on you for a month. If you don't achieve XYZ outcome, you don't pay, but I'm extraordinarily confident it will. Lastly, step four is to back it up with proof. So you don't just say your solution, you say, I've implemented similar systems for clients in the retail vertical, and they see an average ROI of 300% within the first 60 days, right? What you're doing now is you're positioning your solution as the solution to their problem. Then you're saying, and by the way, if you're worried about this, I've already done the same thing for all of these other people. And last but not least, you talk about pricing. When you talk about pricing, don't worry about it, okay? It's not weird. If somebody jumps on a sales call with you, they're expecting to chat about pricing. The best way to do it is to frame your pricing in terms of ROI, not cost. So you might say something like, the monthly investment is $5,225, which based on the numbers we discussed should deliver a 4 to 6x ROI within your first month. I, of course, guarantee my service, and this is very important to me. I want to make sure you generate multiples on your investment. And so we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that that is so. So I do this approach myself. I've seen this approach work across dozens of industries and hundreds of clients. The key ultimately is that AI is barely mentioned. It is just the means to the end. It's not the star of the show, okay? Don't lose the forest for the trees. As an agency owner, your job is solving business problems. It's not building cool, fun AI things. So while AI is novel and it will give you that attention, at least at the first interaction, ultimately nobody really cares about it. I've heard it said that nobody cares about the hammer, they care about the house that it builds. AI is just your hammer. The business outcome is the house. All right, so a lot of that's just theory. Let's talk about how you can actually implement this approach in your pitches and your marketing immediately. Step one, if you are watching this video right now and you think that you suffer from this problem, audit your current messaging. Check out your website, then check out your proposals, then check out your pitch deck, and really just check out anywhere that you're talking about your services. Count how many times you mention AI, okay, versus specific business outcomes. If you're mentioning the tech more than the results, that's a red flag. Count up the number of times you're pressing on a pain point versus just being like, hey, we have really cool technology. And if you do the second more than you do the first, you got yourself a major problem. You need to reduce the number of times that you're talking about AI. The second big tip is to restructure your discovery calls. When I work with clients in my community, I usually give them a simple discovery or sales call structure. I spend the first 70% of the call asking the customer about their business problems and their goals. Then I spend around 20% presenting my solution, which is always framed in terms of their business outcomes. Then I'll spend maybe the last 10% doing some sort of objection or concern handling or discussing next steps. What a lot of people will do is they'll spend 10% of the time listening to the customer, 10% of the time offering their solution, then 80% of the time trying to handle objections. I don't think you need to handle objections anywhere near as much as most people say. If you're very studious with your consultative sales, if you're robust and consistent in that approach, you've usually handled most of the objections up front by demonstrating what an ROI this would deliver. So don't dive into technical explanations until specifically asked. And even if somebody does specifically ask you, keep it high level. Just always bring it right back to business impact and don't worry too much about the objections. Try and handle them all up front. The third thing is reframe your case studies, okay? The simplest and easiest hack to do this. If your current case studies are AI-powered cold email system, instead, name that case study how client X generated 35 new meetings in 30 days using our AI system. So focus on the result first, then only worry about the system or the implementation at the very end. If you have a case study, your case study isn't, I built an AI-powered cold outreach system that generated $100,000. It's, I generated $100,000 with an AI-powered cold outreach system. Now, a lot of people resist this approach because they want to show off their technical expertise. But the thing is, the people that can afford to pay you well don't have the technical knowledge to really care or evaluate what any of this stuff means anyway. The only thing they actually care about is how confidently you can deliver the outcomes that they want. In the business world, complexity does not sell. It is clarity that sells. So I have a lot of people bring up a variety of objections at this point. Some of them are valid, some of them aren't. I'm just going to cover like a big list of FAQs essentially, and then answer those FAQs. The number one objection I get is, what if my clients are specifically asking about the AI technology? And it's true. Some clients are going to ask you technical questions, especially nowadays when AI is hot and trendy, and these clients want to learn about AI and they want to feel like they have a part in their destiny. When this happens, I will give them a brief, simple explanation, but almost immediately after pivot back to business outcomes. So I'll say something like, the specific model we use matters far less than the results that model delivers. We're using some variant of GPT-4o, and based on our testing, this approach will give you XYZ result. Maybe another objection might be something like, well, yeah, Nick, but I don't have a lot of business experience, but I do have a lot of AI and technical experience. And I get it. You want to show that you know your stuff, but expertise is demonstrated through results, not really fancy workflows or complicated systems. In my experience, if you throw on technical terms, that actually often backfires on you. Sometimes clients will think that you are using that complexity to justify your high prices. They will think that you are essentially gatekeeping knowledge, and that you're better than them, and that you're gatekeeping that knowledge, you're gatekeeping that information as a source of value. And I don't think that that's true. I mean, it's almost like a car deal, like a car dealership or something. Like, do you really need a car dealership anymore? Just to be real with you. I mean, in the year well, I'm not going to mention the date because I was told by a YouTube strategist to never mention a date in a video, but insert current year, do you really need to go to a car dealership and puddle around for 45 minutes to an hour, going back and forth with, some representative about something that you may or may not really need? No, it's an extraordinarily inefficient means of achieving your desired result, which is to buy a freaking car. Okay. It's kind of like that. Like when you start talking in fancy words and big jargon and, oh, this puppet can fit 420 horsepower in there. Like you lose a lot of trust from the customer. My goal is to make it as easy as humanly possible for the customer to understand what the return on investment is so that they could just decide ASAP really quickly, so that if they're not into it, I don't waste my damn time anymore. That should be your goal as well. Another really common objection is, what if they want to know how it works? And there's a difference between explaining the implementation process versus going deep on like AI architecture. Instead of saying, oh, that's a great question. We actually trained our model using this multimodal approach. And I don't know, we're working off a fine-tuned branch of, DeepSeek R, whatever. Focus on the workflow. We'll set up the system, we'll connect it to your existing tools, we'll train it on your data, and we'll have it operational within 14 days. Then we'll monitor performance and optimize based on the results. And if we need to, we'll actually add some more examples to the prompt, right? You can talk about the AI and you can talk about the specifics, so long as somewhere at the end of that, you tie that back into what the customer actually cares about, which is the return on investment. Another common objection is, my prospects don't value what they don't understand. And this is pretty backwards thinking. Most business owners don't understand how their website's code works or what it was built with, but their website still makes them money, right? You don't need to understand every tiny feature or every tiny component in order to understand the bigger picture. I mean, scientists understand how the brain creates thought, but not necessarily the underpinnings behind every single, atom in the cell, right? When I coach AI automation agency owners in my own community, I usually find ones that are struggling to close deals, or almost always the ones that are over-explaining and over-engineering their tech. The ones that close consistently are usually relentlessly focused on business outcomes. I think if you make this shift, you guys aren't only going to close more deals, you'll also be able to charge significantly more for the same work, and you might even be able to get away with doing it simpler and easier than you think. I used to do freelance software engineering, and I can tell you 100% that I charge much more money now dragging and dropping modules across the screen than I ever did before when I was building out some complex black box script. All right, so let me wrap this up by summarizing the key mindset shifts and strategies that you guys are going to need to make in order to sell high ROI AI services. The first is to focus on outcomes, not AI technology. The second is to emphasize proven solutions, not cutting-edge experiments. The third is to position yourself as an outcome owner, so somebody that owns results, not a provider of tools, not just a little code monkey. If you implement these three strategic shifts in your AI business, it's virtually guaranteed that both your close rates are going to improve, but so will the quality of your relationships and the quality of your general life. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. And for those of you that are serious about building a successful AI business, I would highly encourage you to consider joining my community, Maker School. We have over 1,300 committed AI entrepreneurs growing together. Check the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will catch all y'all in the next one. Cheers.